Hello, Mangwana Naka Tete Rasta. How are you guys doing? It's a lovely Sunday, and I thought I'd just come and share very briefly my Sunday vibes, particularly about what's on my mind today. As you know, I'm always on Facebook kind of checking out what people are saying, what's new, what's topical. And I came across one post from one of my friends. I just wait for a few people to come on stream because once I start, you're going to lose the momentum of this. So, Mangwana, how are you guys doing? I can see that you are flowing in. Today I just thought I'd come and talk to you about my Sunday vibes. Ndikuno ku London. So kama getaka baka. Ndikutaka basa soon. So I just thought, let me pass a bit of time. So cool. Nice to see you guys. Let me just talk to you, just talking about the theme that's on my wall today. It's looking at freedom, feeling imprisoned. Where are you? You know, sometimes in diaspora, you feel like you are confined in a space where you don't want to be, and you'd rather be somewhere else doing other things. And in as much as fire UK, my heart is really in Zimbabwe. So I kind of feel like a prisoner, although other things are going very well for me. But the essence of my talk really is just to share some uplifting scriptures, because it's also takakurira in a Christian family. So when things get tough, you get on your knees. So one of my friends, this is my friend Ella. Ella doesn't know that I'm sharing her post. She says, I posted that one on prison conditions in Zimbabwe. And Ella wrote, I don't think even during the Smith regime, Zim prisoners lived in squalid conditions. If we are failing our own, in squalid conditions, if we are failing our own, and then she despairs. And I just thought, that was pretty poignant. The people that were perceived to be most evil did not even subject our liberation heroes to the kind of squalor and poor diet and poor health upkeep that some of the people that are incarcerated in our country are experiencing right now. So it got me thinking really about the two very prominent people that are in prison for religious reasons, although we can say it's also for political reasons. You remember that Pastor Mugadza. I didn't really get to grips with his story, but he is a man of the cloth, and he predicted that the president is going to be dying on a certain day. So he got himself in prison for that. You see, this is the thing about liberties. Where do people draw the line? If that is what he felt in his own prophetic understanding, he felt he needed to share that, where do we draw the line? So you can't even utter anything without being silenced. And then obviously there's this one for this week, Pastor Ivan Mawarire, and he has now been moved to Chikurubi maximum prison as a class D prisoner, which means he's there with murderers, political prisoners. So it's really quite unpleasant. So I just wanted to share that you must keep calm, because the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So you've got to get out of the way sometimes when you're facing persecution. If somebody has said, I'm going to fight your fight and win this for you, if you're standing in the way, you'll be delaying progress. So there are some elements and some individuals who know that there are challenges, but sometimes they stand in the way so that warriors don't get to do their bit. I also posted, when God's warriors go down on their knees, the battle is not over, it has just begun. And some of us, we grew up in a diet of the gospel, and we used to learn that when Jesus died on the cross, he said, it is finished. Yes, it's finished, but even if your child is running a sports event at school, you cheer them on. If your contender is going to be the winning person, you still cheer them on and you give thanks. The battle's over. We don't know when this whole oppressive system is going to change, but I think if you're going to be true to yourself, there are certain things that can be better in our situation. I also posted, do not be afraid or discouraged, for the battle is not yours but God's. And here I think I'll not fall out, but people need to understand, whoever you call God, if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Buddhist, if you're Rastafarian, it really doesn't matter. If you're traditionalist, that which you revere, you have to call upon it, because we are all living in this community, in this entity. So when we uphold the powers higher than ourselves, it puts us in good stead. And one of my favorites is, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. One of the things that I came to understand when growing up is that we are spirit beings. This is just a shell. This is just a shell. When I pass on, there's something in me, my soul, my spirit, it transcends somewhere else. That is the real grace. What you see here is this is just a vessel. This stuff is going to decay and decompose, but that soul, that spirit, that essence that allows me to speak to you, that connects with my intelligence, that is the one where it's the spiritual stuff. That is the real us. When the world was created, you have to speak words into being. Let there be light. Let there be, a demarcation between the oceans, how far they go. Let there be order. Because what we know as well is that our Creator is not one of confusion. Whenever you see confusion and discord, that is the wrong spirit. So people, Zimbabweans, don't be discouraged, because God is not the author of confusion, but he's an author of peace. So when we were really thriving, or even in your own life, when you are really, really thriving, you've got a certain order about things. You've got a certain peace about things. Sometimes, like we can say in the 80s and in the 90s, we were quite anointed. We were very blessed. But the anointing, and look at the floods that came onto Zimbabwe. And look at how in decay the roads are. So where we are going, if we maintain our peace and overreact, we shall be restored. We just need a new blessing, a new spiritual covering on our country and ourselves. So you guys are coming fast and furious. Kuda says, Tete ndeipi, how are you doing? Ndiri bobo. Chiuta chiye chiri kupinda mbasa manje nenda kuisa ma headsets angu ndakutaura ndichiseva upenyu neutano hwevanhu. That's what I do when I'm not messing around here. My mom Nora says, hello, nice to watch you early. It's 3 a.m. in Canada. Oh my goodness me. Shout out to Canada. I see a lot of you are the guys. Let's see. Brian says, Wekwangu, hi. Salute. Oh, and Karim said something. I can't read that. I'm so sorry. And Tony says, hi, Tete Rasta. So I posted something on my wall which is a little bit difficult to digest, but I want to read it because it makes a point that I thought this is something nice. I saw it on a friend's wall. Anunzi Lloyd Musipa, a very good friend of mine, he wrote, it's a sad day. This was yesterday. It's a sad day indeed when a constitutional democracy begins to devour its own. I am reminded of the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers. This cruel and inhumane act turned out to be Joseph's salvation. What man meant for evil, God made for good. The political persecution of Ivan Mawarire, although designed to break and obligate the man, God will surely make it for good. How history repeats itself. The very same leaders in government today should recall their experiences of political persecution when they were dealing with their own oppressors. Surely they should understand the basic tenet that what does not kill you makes you stronger. By reinventing activist Pastor Mawarire into a political prisoner and treating him as such, he becomes so. He will become their primary contender come 2018. That's when the elections are going to be. So this fellow, Pastor Mawarire, is a D-class remand prisoner in Chikurubi. That's the maximum prison in Zimbabwe. So he's hanging out with all the convicted murderers. He's not being held in the normal remand holding center. So that in itself is very telling, because it shows that there's a shock to the system. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again for the sake of being fair and having parity. Sometimes when individuals like Ivan Mawarire are put under such torture, they go into places where you and I don't have eyes normally, and they'll come up back and tell us things. But what about those people who have been in those places even before he went in there, who are having to eat the kind of diet that you saw on my page? What about those prisoners? Sometimes we have to, think beyond ourselves and look at how can we empower the system, or what are the kind of things that we're going to want to advocate for, so that those that are helpless and powerless will experience a better life. I'm all for correction, but if people are being imprisoned unfairly, unfairly or unjustly, in a timely manner, it is very sad. And then there's those of us who are free that are outside, but we're not free indeed. But it's not about where you are or what you're experiencing. It is the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. So be encouraged, guys. Fungai some of it might be nonsense, that's okay. Some of it might be good, it might help somebody. But my Sunday vibes angle was just coming to you to say, you know what, there's a situation, and you know me, and Inamata taboos, and I will be pointing things out from time to time. So thank you so much for hanging out. Richard, you say hi Tete, happy Sunday to you. I'm going to be signing out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching my tabasa. Topakutenda, siyabonga. Salute.